Studnickaaquatics here. I decided that I want to start raising some guppies. I haven't done that for quite a while. And the place that I have, my fish room is pretty full unless I expand it, which I've been thinking about doing. But anyway, I do have this area here. I have 6 10-gallon tanks, and 2 of them are split. And I measured this out, and if I build me a rack right in here and have the aquarium set endwise, then there's enough room here to have a rack standing with 6 tanks on it. It would be similar to this rack here, except in height. I mean, these would be the actual heights of the 3 tanks, except it would be for 10s instead, and they would be going the other direction. So I have picked up some lumber, and I'm going to start building a rack there. I have the tanks, I have the racks. I'll have to pick up some, I do have some extra bubblers. I have some small ones in some of these around here. There's one down there, there's 2 there, there's another there. So anyway, I do have some that I can use for nitrifying bacteria. So I'll keep throwing more stuff together as this moves forward. Okay, I've made videos on how I make my stands in the past, and you can always go back and look at those. These here are the boxes, as I call them. And these boxes are just the right size. If I get this thing to focus in, there we go. So that these can sit on top. This is upside down. And they're the same distance the other way too. So the main thing is to make sure that when you cut them, you cut every one exactly the same size. If you leave the line on one, leave the line on all of them. And this is all I do. I have 4 corner clamps. These are 21. I think these are 18. Put these in here, corner clamp it, make sure it's true on the edge, and put 2 screws in. Do the same thing here, here, and here. Make sure everything is flat on the surface, because the bottom is going to be what you're going to set the tank on. It will be perfectly flat. This can vary a little bit, it doesn't matter, because this will be on the bottom. Since this is flat, that works really well. Once I get those 4, these are going to be my uprights. I will mark across here. I am not going to dado joint these because there's hardly any weight. There's only 2 10-gallon tanks on each one. And I will put 3 screws in each one, and I use deck screws that are made for moisture, made for being outside so they don't rust. I've used them in the past. I've built stands this way for over 30 years. I've never had one break. I've never had anything happen. So anyway, I'll come back in and show you how I do this, but this is going to be my uprights. There'll be a board here, here, and here, and then we throw it together. And I will add more to this later. Okay, my tripod broke, so we'll see if we can get this to work. We're going to throw this stand together. Screws, screwdriver, you need a square. You got some clamps. You need those. And you will need to get 2 of the boards right down like this, because this would be the end of it, like so. This is the front, so this goes on here like that. This one goes like that. And this one goes like that. Now, we do the same thing with the top ones. These are the ones we're actually going to be screwing in right now. And then we'll have to flip it over. Goes like so. That's all there is to it. So, the hard part is you got to make sure everything is perfectly square. These clamps come in really handy, because you can square this up using square. Make sure that it is square, which is right there. Make sure it's flush with the top, side. That one there. Now you got to find your lines. What I should do is draw the lines up over the edge instead of just having them underneath. But I didn't do that. I can do it right now. Right there, and right there is one of the lines. So we get a clamp ready on that one. And then square it up. So it's flush with the outside, and it's on your lines, and it's square in here, which is right there. Okay. Now we do the same thing on the bottom one. I should have drawn them lines around there, but I didn't. So my line is right there and right there. So we line that up. Put a square right there. And I'm going to put a clamp on it. Now that it is clamped and on the lines everywhere, all you have to do is check square again. It's a little hard to check, but I know it was square. These are deck screws. They're made for outdoor use, so they don't rust. I'm not dado jointing this one. I've been building these stands for over 30 years, and I've never had one that ever developed a problem. Like that. This one's lined up. There. So, and put 4 in each one. There, 3 right now. We can reach. Up here, I hit another screw. That does create a problem. I have the screws going in this board into this side one, and I hit it. So I got to move over a little ways, about ½ inch. So I'm not on the same spot as the other screw. That. Like that. Okay, so what I've done here is I marked here where my 2x is. You can see the marks here, there, and there. And I line this up. Make sure that this is square here and screw these in. I'll take these clamps off and add one more screw. I do the same thing to that one. I then flip it over, do the other 2, stand it up, and it's done. It's a really simple design. I didn't dado join them, don't need it. There's not that much weight. So I'll add more to this later. Okay, I got the rack built. It does fit in there. I know this isn't a lot of room between here and there. I'm going to have to think this over before I know for sure if I'm going to do this, but I really kind of want to get these guppy things going. I can still access these. There's, maybe almost 2 feet between there. This will come off. That was just a little shelf. But what I did was I built this, for 10s. And the 2 on the outside here, I have a piece of glass that I siliconed in between as a divider. So my plan would be to probably, I need to get some polycarbonate tops made. I don't know if I have enough to do that. I hope I do. I have nitrifying bacteria in my little sponge filters that I can steal there. And I have others that are seeded. That's not a problem. I will have to purchase some lighting, and I want to have lighting that's good enough to grow Java Merce and Java Moss and Java Fern. Low light, but still light. So I could have one type of guppies in here, one type in here, one type in here, and one type in here. And then that gives me 4 separate 5-gallon tanks for rearing of those fish. So yeah, I think it's going to work. I'm not sure what else I could do with it. There's no place else in this room. This is all the room that I have. The only other option would be to remove this desk out of here and put it in between there. But then I have a lot of stuff here, and I use this all the time, so I really don't want to do that. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably leave it sit here for a few days and decide if that's something that I want to do. It does, you know, block some of those over there. You can't see them as well, but you can still see them. It is a fish room, not a living room. So I don't know, I have to think about it a little bit. So anyway, I did get it built. It didn't take very long. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of neat to do some live bearer stuff. So that's my video for today.